Okay, we got a lot of really good questions specific to young players. So we're going to bounce back and forth, and the Baseball Health Network content is going to be for players of all ages. But we'll focus a little bit for a minute on young players. Got a ton of questions, and one of them is here: is what type of off the field workouts or training are recommended for youths 9 through 12? The one thing I can say is that it should be synergistic with what's happening in practice. In practice, there's so many fundamentals that need to be learned in this game. And as someone who coaches it at the youth level, I can tell you that the one thing that's a dead giveaway that you have a coach that doesn't get it is when you see the players running a lot. And my joke has always been in any sport is that having your players running laps is for coaches who ran out of stuff to teach. Okay. There's too much to cover and too little time to cover all the intrinsic elements of baseball that when you're at baseball practice, you should be learning baseball. In terms of off the field stuff, the thing we'll talk a lot about, and we talk about in a ton of our videos, we have an entire video dedicated just to youth training, and Steve talks about what he does with his kids specifically and just some fun stuff. But the one thing that we'll talk about over and over is become more athletic. And so some of the most simple things can make you more athletic. And what I would recommend is the less structured, the better. Okay. And it could be something as simple. One of the best ways when people ask me, because I get asked all the time by parents at games, what's some of the best things I can do to improve speed? And they want to automatically go out and buy ladders and sleds and bags, and all those things could be useful tools at some point. But the first thing I tell them is go out and get a jump rope. Learn to jump rope because there's a rhythmic element to being able to move athletically and fast. It teaches you to get up on the power pad of your foot. It teaches you to create some spring and as well as the proper stiffness in the foot and ankle. So simple things like jumping rope is invaluable in terms of what you can do to improve athleticism. Climbing, doing those sorts of things, being able to do all those, be on the monkey bars and do stuff at the park, as you'll see with some of the footage we have of Steve's kids. That's invaluable, doing those things. Those are the type of things that are going to make a huge difference. And, one of the other reasons why I wanted to get this information out is because that's the conversation I'll end up having on the fence at games, is they'll say, I want to get my son working out. I bought him a bench at Sports Authority. And it's like, okay, let's back up here a second. You go return the bench to Sports Authority. All right. And let's talk about what they really need to do. I can get everything done that you need to do with your 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old with their own body weight, a jump rope, maybe a medicine ball, and maybe a kettlebell and some bands. And that's it. And so it really doesn't require a whole lot. You don't have to go out and get fancy gym memberships. And even though I've been training young athletes for the last 18 years, there's not a huge need to get it so organized and structured that we're worried about your 60 time when you're 11 years old. It just, those aren't the values that we're looking for. Become athletic.
And just be kids. Like they said, like my kids, we go to the park and I put them through obstacle courses, and it's not like anything structured. It's just, let's go to the park. Hey, run over there, jump over the bench, go across the monkey bars, go up that slide, down that slide, jump over that, roll in the dirt. And it's just all fun. I get a stopwatch and we time it, and it's all fun stuff. Again, teach athleticism. Teach kids how to understand their bodies better, how to understand how to move, how to roll, how to jump out of a tree, not a high tree, but jump out of a tree. Get dirty, slide in the dirt. Just be kids. When I was a kid, we played about 7 different sports a day. You played street hockey for 2 hours, then you punted a football for an hour and a half, then you played wiffle ball, basketball. You're constantly just playing sports and just being athletic and having fun. It doesn't have to be some structured regimen that we're putting our young kids on. Let them be kids, but keep them active. And in turn, they're going to understand their bodies better. They're going to understand hand-eye coordination. They're going to understand how to shoot a basketball. Well, they don't play basketball. So what? Let them shoot a basketball. It's an athletic movement. It's an athletic skill that they can learn to get better at, focusing on the form. All of that stuff is going to help them become more athletic, and it's going to get their body in better condition to limit the number of injuries that we're seeing.